The accession of Henry IV to the English throne in 1399. The year 1399 marked a pivotal moment in English history when Henry Bolingbroke, the Duke of Lancaster, successfully deposed King Richard II and ascended the throne as Henry IV. This event not only ended the reign of the Plantagenet king but also set in motion a new chapter for England under the Lancastrian dynasty. The deposition of Richard II and the subsequent rise of Henry IV was not merely a matter of personal ambition but was deeply intertwined with political discontent, power struggles, and the legitimacy of royal authority. Background and motives. The roots of this political upheaval trace back to the growing discontent with Richard II's rule. Although Richard initially enjoyed some support during his minority, his reign became increasingly characterized by autocratic tendencies, favoritism towards select nobles, and a disregard for the rights and privileges of his subjects. His reliance on a small circle of advisers, many of whom were despised by the broader nobility, further alienated him from the ruling class. Tensions escalated in 1397 when Richard purged his court of political opponents, sentencing them to execution or exile. One of those exiled was his cousin, Henry Bolingbroke, son of the influential John of Gaunt, Duke of Lancaster. Henry's exile was particularly controversial, as it deprived a powerful noble of his inheritance and influence. When John of Gaunt died in 1399, Richard II seized the Lancastrian estates, preventing Henry from claiming his rightful inheritance. This act not only violated the principles of hereditary rights but also challenged the traditional bonds between the monarchy and the nobility. It was in this context of personal grievance and broader political discontent that Henry decided to return to England, ostensibly to reclaim his inheritance, but ultimately to seize the throne. The coup and accession. Henry landed at Ravenspur in Yorkshire in June 1399, initially presenting himself as a disinherited nobleman seeking justice. However, as his forces swelled with disaffected nobles and commoners, it became clear that his ambitions extended far beyond the recovery of his estates. Richard, who was campaigning in Ireland at the time, returned to England to face the challenge, but his support base had crumbled. By August, Henry had captured Richard, and the king was imprisoned in the Tower of London. Richard's subsequent forced abdication on September 29, 1399, paved the way for Henry's ascension. On October 13, 1399, Henry was crowned King Henry IV, marking the first time in English history that a king was deposed and replaced by a rival claimant. His justification for taking the throne centered on Richard's alleged misrule and the broader need for a strong and just king who would respect the laws of the land and the rights of the nobility. This narrative of reform and legitimacy helped Henry secure broad-based support, at least initially. Legacy and impact. Henry IV's accession marked the beginning of the Lancastrian dynasty and a period of political turbulence that would continue for decades. Although he successfully claimed the throne, his rule was marred by constant challenges to his legitimacy, uprisings, and the threat of foreign invasion. Nevertheless, the events of 1399 reshaped the English monarchy, demonstrating that kingship was not only a matter of birthright but also of effective governance and the support of the political community. In sum, the rise of Henry IV in 1399 was a defining moment in English history, characterized by the intersection of personal ambition, political grievances, and the broader question of royal legitimacy. It marked the end of one era and the precarious beginning of another, with lasting implications for the nature of kingship in medieval England. Thanks for listening. Like and comment. And please subscribe, as that will help us get more videos out to those interested in the Middle Ages. See you next time on Medieval Chronicles 1066. Stay curious.